Welcoming Ashlee Evans-Smith, getting ready to fight Marion Reneau. Come up here on UFC Fight Night in Pittsburgh. I just interviewed Marion, and I tried to start shit talking between the two of you, and she just wouldn't do it. And it made me realize the women don't really shit talk as much as the men. It doesn't really seem like it, but you would think that it'd be about the same. You know that a Conor McGregor type can be male or female. A Ronda Rousey type can be male or female. This is just kind of it doesn't make a difference. A shit talker is a shit talker. Are you? Do you like to stir the pot? Are you someone who tries to say stuff and get a rise out of your opponent?
Honestly, I've never been a shit talker, but that's because I really haven't had a reason to. I've been matched up with some pretty awesome opponents who, I think I respect them, to be honest. And, not on the level where I'm going to give them an advantage. I just feel like everyone kind of, just like Marion, she didn't shit talk. So, I'm not going to fire back if she's not going to fire anything.
And the eras have changed, obviously, from my day where we had to sell fights because there weren't enough going around. Now there's so many. It almost just sells itself just by you being a good opponent and being a good competitor. It just kind of comes onto its own. How do you see her as an opponent, though? Do you think that is she a next step? Is she a stepping stone? Is she the right opponent for you coming up next, or is it just the next natural thing that you would see that Sean Shelby would put together?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk shit, but I am confident, and I do think that Marion is a perfect matchup for me. It's a great matchup. Sean Shelby put together a fight that is going to be super entertaining. We're both two fighters that don't back down. We keep coming forward, and we are skilled as well. It's not just, a street fight. So it's a different style matchup. She's Muay Thai and a gi jiu-jitsu, and I'm no gi and I'm wrestling. And so I think it's kind of like a battle of two hard-nosed women who have different backgrounds, and at the end of the day just really, really want to win. We both got something to prove. I'm coming off of a year layoff. She lost to the champ, and she's coming off a loss, which we all know. So expect a fight.
Yeah, why? I was going to wait till a little bit later, but why the year layoff?
Well, I was suspended for 9 months after my last UFC fight, my UFC debut, for using diuretics. There was. Sorry.
It's all right.
I don't know what's going on here. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I was suspended for 9 months for diuretics. What happened was, there's a miscommunication with me and my old nutritionist, and I basically learned the hard way about educating yourself and you being the one who knows exactly what's going into your body. So it wasn't steroids, it wasn't marijuana. A lot of people online like to speculate and not inform themselves, but it was water pills. It was to promote water loss, I know better now.
Was it hard to remove that nutritionist from your camp?
Nope.
Easy call. Well, no, because sometimes your nutritionists become your friends because they're around all the time. They're having to cook your meals, get you set up. They got to know you. Some people like fish. They don't like chicken. It's like this whole thing. All of a sudden, it's you got to go. It's like getting rid of a cousin. I got to cut a cousin out. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I kept that in a professional, perspective. At the end of the day, I want someone who wants what's best for me, and whether it's my nutritionist, my boyfriend, my coach, anyone, you should just have positive people around you. And so I had to make that call, and it wasn't that tough, really.
Just on a side note, a nutritionist that gives you water pills is a fucking asshole anyway. So honestly, I just thought maybe you might have an emotional connection with that person. I was like, but that's just a dick move. That's 100% a dick move. Oh yeah, look how much weight you lost. 35 pounds of it's water. It's fine. No, it doesn't work like that, douche. All right. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. So obviously, this is not classic striker versus wrestler. This is not what this fight is because both of you are very well rounded. Obviously, your grappling wrestling is your forte. Her Muay Thai is her forte. Was it difficult finding training partners that are going to mimic her style to give you a really good sense of what's going to be like to be in the cage with her?
No, we I train at a couple different gyms. My home gym is Subfighter MMA in Laguna, and we have a lot of people that are about 135, 145 weight class. She's only a couple inches shorter than me, so and then I do have a lot of guy teammates that are a little shorter than me. As far as body type, no problem. And then I train at a striking gym called Classic in Costa Mesa, and that's Muay Thai, and so perfect, there's a lot of little guys out there, that are strikers. So I just had, perfect training partners coming out my ears. To be honest, it wasn't a problem.
Do you leave tomorrow to fly out to Pittsburgh?
Early.
You going out of LAX or you going out of Orange County?
John Wayne, because I live like 10 away.
And then where do you go from John Wayne?
I've got a layover, I believe, in Colorado, but don't quote me for sure.
Well, the reason why I was asking, because Marion leaves tomorrow too, and she's going out of Fresno. And then she bounces through Phoenix. So I thought maybe you two were going to end up meeting and being on the same plane in Phoenix to fly out to Pittsburgh together. But it didn't work out that way.
Actually, no, to be honest, the UFC flight coordinator woman, I believe she actually called me and said she booked us on the same flight out of John Wayne. So I don't know. I think unless you just talked to Marion and they changed it. Okay.
Yeah, she's going out of Fresno, goes into Phoenix, and then bounces over. But her flight's like at 6 a.m.
Yeah, actually, that's what she told me because my flight's at 7, and she moved me from the 6 a.m. flight to the 7 a.m. flight. She said that Marion was going to be flying on the same exact flight as me, but maybe there's just some confusion. But
they probably changed their tickets up. Yeah, because it is. I get it that you two could be casual and not like you're going to start a fight in the middle of in the middle of a plane, but it definitely makes for an uneasy trip to the bathroom. It definitely makes for an uneasy going to the back to get some more water kind of conversation. When you bump into each other.
I told the UFC, I said I didn't care, to be honest. Like I'm the kind of person that if you want to be friends after we fight, like let's do it. There's not a lot of women on this planet that do what we do, that have the mindset that we have. So why not be friends at the end of the day? Not obviously while we're in the cage, but like afterwards, why not?
I've said that when I was fighting, I was doing something that 90% of the men on the planet wanted to do, that only 10% of the men on the planet could do, and only 1% of the men on the planet can do well. For you guys, it's like 20% of the women want to do it. 3% can actually do it, and like 0.05% can actually do it well. Like it's a small number of people that can actually do what you do from a female standpoint. It's kind of crazy. Like you probably heard me say this before. I was totally against women's MMA. I didn't like it. The first girl I ever trained with Gina Carano. And it was a round robin. Like I was just training at Couture's in Vegas, turned around and she had to be the next one in line and kicked me in the liver. And I was like, I got to really like put it on this girl. She's trying to kill me. And I had to put it on her. And it was like, it gave me a lot more respect for him, but I still didn't really like it. And then all of a sudden you guys exploded over the last year and a half, 2 years. And it's been amazing watching the growth of the female side of the sport. Do you feel like that every time you go into a fight, it's not just like, you're 5% better, but you're like 20% better because you have so much more to learn?
I had an interesting learning curve situation going on because in my amateur career, I took 7 fights in 5 months. I did 9 total, and so you don't really have a lot of time to learn. But then when I went pro, I did a tournament, and they ended up stalling the tournament because of an interesting situation with a fighter. And so that put some time in between my fights. And then I went from there to World Series of Fighting, and they kind of had me on a shelf for a little while. So that put some more time in between fights. Then I got called the UFC call, and then I got suspended after that fight. So that put more time. So I've had all this time in between fights, minus my amateur career, to just grow as a fighter. And not just technically and physically, but I'm 28 now, and not to sound corny, but like I just really feel like this is the age where you kind of start like realizing like how the world works and how life is and growing up. You're not a kid anymore, Took a while.
We were actually talking about this today at jiu-jitsu practice, where it's like 30. Like for women, it's like 30 years old. They kind of start finding themselves. So you're right in the wheelhouse. Guys, unfortunately, it's about 35. We're a little bit later, but that's just how it works. But yeah, you are right in that peak time to really figure out how the world is going to work, and really more so how your body and mind are going to work together. Because you're getting in a position now where your body and mind have to work cohesively at the same time. If you're having self-doubts, that punch isn't going to come out right. If you're having self-doubts, you can't take that shot, and all you're going to do is get hit in the head. So it's like you really got to put it together. Have you done any, psychological training, emotional training, like anything like that, like a sports doctor or anything from the mental side?
It's really funny that you bring that up because people keep asking me, they're like, "Oh, you're about to, win 20,000, whatever, and I'm like, what do you want to buy?" And the only thing I can think about actually investing my money in is um, I want to do like blood tests to see if I'm like my levels are low because I'm a vegetarian. I want to do some sports psychology stuff. Like I want to invest my money into becoming a better fighter. I don't want to like go to Disneyland or whatever, but like, like these are things that I really want to do because I've never done that, to answer your question. I've never done a sports psychology type situation. And I think I would really benefit because fighters, we're crazy. We can really get in our heads. And just like you said, if your mind's not right, your punch is not going to be right.
It's actually pretty awesome that you said that because most I'm buying a new car. I'm going to get a new couch. I'm buying a new bed. I'm going to Disneyland. You're like, no, I'm going to take this money. You're a business. You're a franchise. And if you own a franchise, the first set of money that comes in, you put it back into the franchise to build it up. Why wouldn't you do that as an athlete? And that's what you're going to do. That's smart. That's going to keep you in the sport a lot longer and give you a lot better run. Once you get to the top, you're going to maintain that run.
Yeah.
It's actually easy. It's easier to get to the top. It's hard as hell to keep it there once you're there. Like everyone falls down. Everybody falls down. We've seen. And we're actually talking about mental. Actually, today I think I saw a blurb where Ronda Rousey was talking about she was having such a hard time with depression and suicidal thoughts after the loss to Holly Holm. Like she really is getting in her own head, but she's got it worked out. And she went, and doing her thing. So it's great to hear a huge star like that. Like no, like I lost it. I got fucked up. Like this is what happens. Yeah. Like we're emotional people too. We're not just robots. So it's like it's cool to see it. And then to interview you and hear you say no. The next step is get the blood work done and get my head checked out. And that's awesome. That was great. Great job. Thanks. That was perfect. Okay. Well, thanks, Ashlee, for coming out here. I appreciate it so much. It's great to finally talk to you. Good luck and have fun in that fight tomorrow. And I'll definitely be at home watching this fight for sure.
Thank you. Could I do a quick sponsor shout out if that's okay?
All right.
I just gotta get paid. Head Rush, honestly, Head Rush is a great sponsor. MyMMAnews.com and Triumph United are the main people that support me. And then I just want to say thank you to my coaches and teammates for helping me for this camp. I'm gonna rack up a victory, and it's all because of them.
How has it been sponsorship-wise now, obviously, with the Reebok deal? I mean, everyone talks about the Reebok deal, but that's just inside. How is it being on the outside? Getting these sponsors put together?
Yeah, like I feel really fortunate, like obviously like I took a loss because with the Reebok deal because I don't have that many fights. This is still only going to be my, fifth pro fight. And I'm like at the bottom tier. But honestly, I feel like I just have a connection with I think I'm very open with my fans and supporters. And so sponsors see that. And I'm very big on social media. So I've been fortunate to have some backing even in my suspension. So I've gotten by. It's been rough. It's been really freaking rough, but it's going to pay off. So it's all right.
Good for you. I'm glad things are working out. And you, like you said, you've only had 5 pro fights, so you're still young as far as time in the sport. Give us some more time. By the time you're 33, 34, you'll be looking back at this conversation going, wow, I can't believe I lived on that. Like, how did I even survive on that kind of money? Now it's like it's so much better.
Thank you.
You got it. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.